Hey everyone, it's me, Arthur Kade. So Joseph Fiennes. This story, I love it. I've seen every Jesus movie under the sun.
You have?
I think I have. I'm like the glossary of Jesus movies, I think now. But this is a totally different take on it. Obviously, we're looking at from a person who doesn't believe's eyes. Talk to me about what drew you to this role in this Roman soldier.
Well, there were a few components. One, our veteran director, Kevin Reynolds. I felt I could really trust his vision, and I've been a big fan of his. Also, the narrative. From a young age, the story of Christ has been very arresting for me. And also the idea of visiting this narrative from the eyes of a Roman military tribune, a non-believer, if you like. And also, it's got a whole detective twist to it. It's kind of like Bible noir. And so I loved the kind of the tension and the fresh take that the film delivers.
What I love is we see the transformation with him throughout the movie. Talk to me about that transformation, because it goes from one end of the spectrum to the other pretty quickly.
Well, that was a big attraction. It's a sort of a great opportunity for an actor to go on that journey and take an audience on that journey. But I felt that he was a man that's deeply conditioned in Roman military warfare. He's brutal and surgical when it comes to battle, and the same in his life. He's a man that serves Pontius Pilate and serves the cause of Rome, and then suddenly all that conditioning is undone when he comes against the followers of Christ and their philosophy. And I love the sort of the fallout of him getting to understand their philosophy. And then there's obviously an irrevocable moment when he goes to hunt them down and he finds a man that shouldn't be there.
This movie's going to get quite the reaction both ways. Talk to me about what you want people to take away from this movie. What is the message and the reaction you hope they take away?
Well, I hope that the audience take away, if they're believers, they take away the continued conversation of faith and what that means to them. And if they're non-believers, I think you can still appreciate the value of redemption and forgiveness. And also just to look at soldiers running around and, in Roman gear is kind of fun too.
Speaking of conversations, you've been in the social conversation the last few weeks, obviously the Michael Jackson role and everything. There's been so much talk about it. What are your thoughts on all the talk that's been happening?
I think we have to talk more when it comes out, because then we can have evidence of what we're talking about.
Got it. With this movie, when you look at that, it's going to be made on a large scale. It's not just some small indie film. Talk to me about being able to tell this through a major studio's eyes.
Well, it's great that a studio should get behind it in this way, in a high production value way. This is a big Hollywood blockbuster, if you like, but being true to scripture as best as it can. So you've either in the past had deeply revisionist films, or you've had very kind of preachy Sunday school conservative films with maybe not great high production value. So here we've brought a real balance and a mix to that.
The man's story, I was reading an interview where you said that the man's story, after reading 30 or 40 pages of the script, really drew you in. Talk to me about, as you're going through the script, was there a moment where you're like, this is the character that I want to play, this story where it drew you in?
Yeah, I just loved the journey that he went on. I loved that at the beginning, I would have to invite the audience to come on this journey in order to understand that there might be a life elsewhere out of warfare and his conditioning.